Lathrop. I'm a fourth grade teacher here at Stout Field Elementary. We're here with Rick Crosslin, and we're studying a lesson on BioBlitz 101. And we're studying what plants and animals live here at Stout Field Elementary.
Hey, thanks for that introduction. You know, here's a new word, BioBlitz 101. Interesting. Bio means life, and blitz means let's find out everything we can about it. So, what I like about this lesson is we're doing it in fourth grade, then I'm going to ask you to come back and do it again in fifth grade. And the weird thing is, I've already asked fifth graders to do this. And so at the end of our lesson, we can go and see what fifth graders have learned about what plants and animals make their home here at Stout Field Elementary. And what we're trying to do is all across our township to find out how many things live here. So we're going to do something called a BioBlitz. And the first thing you're going to do, you might write this anywhere on your notes somewhere. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do number one. We're going to try to find living and non-living areas at your school. Living and non-living areas. So let's talk about that. What if we're looking for a living area here at Stout Field? Let's find out what that might look like.
Let's find out what are some of the living things. So what are some of the living things? Lacey? Plants. Yes. Rodney?
People.
People. Yes.
Hey, I just said
Daisy?
animals.
Animals. Okay, so what are some animals that we might see? Cherish?
Birds.
Birds. Shay?
Mammals.
Mammals. What about some plants? What are some plants that we see? Jaden?
Grass.
Grass is outside. Yep. Gabriella?
Trees.
Trees. And what's one more? Let's just do one more. Faith?
Bushes.
Bushes. Good. All right, let's talk about some of the non-living things that we see around Stout Field now. So what are some of those? Owen?
Rocks.
Rocks. Katrina?
Roads.
Roads, yes. Edgar?
Playgrounds.
The playground outside, yes, that's another one. Brandy?
Sidewalk.
The sidewalks outside. Nevaeh?
Bus and cars.
Okay, buses and cars, yes.
So that was a really good discussion. You guys found a lot of living and non-living things right here at Stout Field Elementary. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at a map, satellite map of your school. Okay, so here's a map, satellite map of your school. And if you notice, here's the main highway, here's your green areas, here's your school, check it out. And so let's make this just a little bit larger, and let's see if we can find some of the living things here and the non-living things. Now, you guys are lucky because you have this huge park right here. So here's your school, right?
Right.
And it kind of goes like this, and there's your receiving area, and there's a little green, there's actually a green area right in here. There's a green area there, then you have your parking lot. So these are all areas that are these living or non-living?
Non-living.
But look, you got a green space right here. There's a green space here, and there is a huge tree right here. Wonder what kind of tree that is. Oh, look here. I see a tree here, a couple here, a couple here. Those are all habitats and a good place to look for animals. Look at all the trees here. Now, this is close to the road.
I know what a habitat is.
A habitat is what?
A habitat is a home for living things.
A habitat's home. So these would be really good places to look for some living things. Now, there's other trees over here, and then this is what's called a grassland. There's a grassland here, and there's a whole bunch of trees here. Now, wouldn't it be cool to try to do a BioBlitz, to have this map, your teacher has this map, and to see what's out there. Let's take a look at one more map. Okay, so here's another map. This one is not a satellite picture. This is actually a drawing. And then once again, you can see your school here. Here's your school, all right? Now it's missing, what I like about this, it's missing the living things. It's just got some green. So you could take this map with the other grades here in fourth grade, and maybe you could assign, maybe your class will look over here. and maybe another class will look over here, and maybe another class will look over here, so you can divide this area up and see what we have going. Let me show you one more map. This is what architects use when they build a school. Okay, so this is a different type of map. Isaac, you had a question. What type of map do you think this is?
A blueprint.
This,
Like a blueprint of it.
it's like a blueprint. We call it a plan, because in the old days, we used to use ammonia and special paper, and it came out blue. Now we use computers, and it's not blue, but that's a good way to think of this. But we also have turned this sideways. So you see that this is the front of your school right here, and here's your parking lots where the buses come, and we are right about here. That's our classroom, right about, I'm looking out that window right now. So, this would be a good map. Now, what's also about this map is some non-living things, like where the electricity comes in, where the sewers are, where the water is. So that's important because that's part of our school ground. But I'll tell you, let's learn a little bit about what a BioBlitz is. I want to show you a video by National Geographic called BioBlitz. This is the introduction of what a BioBlitz is.
These BioBlitzes help us awaken the public, especially those in cities, to nature in their own backyard.
Okay, so you saw a little bit about what a BioBlitz is. It's where everybody comes together and becomes scientists. And you guys are going to be the scientists. Now, we need some tools. First of all, you need a map. You have a map. We saw the map of the school, right?
Right.
I need scientists. That's going to be you. We also have hand lens and microscopes. And I see you have your Chromebooks, too. So you could look up information about what we call native species. Those are things that live in Indiana. But don't be surprised if you find some things that are called non-native. Things that came here but didn't belong here. So let's keep our eye out for both of those. Now, my goal for you guys is to come up with at least 100 species.
We just think of it.
Plants or animals. No, you don't just think of them. You have to find them and see if they're here. And see if they're here. So, let's make a list of those. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to find, there's probably going to be some plants. And I know that I think there's about 8 to 10 trees. I don't know what type. That's going to be your job. There's a book called 50 Trees of Indiana, or you can take pictures with your Chromebook. Go to the library. Find out the names of those trees. I know there's bushes, lots of bushes. And I know there are all types of grass and other plants. So you might go out in the playground. There could be dandelion. There could be 3 or 4 different types of grasses. So you might get 20 plus different things right here. I also know that, and I actually saw these this morning, there are lots of birds that are around here. And here are some of the birds that you might find. Are you ready? I saw this morning Canadian geese. I saw some Canadian geese fly right overhead. There are sparrows. There are cardinals. There are blackbirds. I saw some blackbirds.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're terrible, you say. I saw a thing called a grackle.
What's a
Type of bird. Hey, do you think that there is maybe a blue jay? Has anybody seen a blue jay out here?
Sparrow, my grandma did.
What about around here in the neighborhood? What other birds might we see? Robins. There might be some ducks that come by. Have you guys ever seen any ducks around here? Yeah. What about a woodpecker?
I've seen some lots of times.
Well, I tell you, these are some of the birds, and you might even look. I saw a really tall bird that is called a blue heron. A blue heron. These are from Indiana. You might find a finch. You might find a wren. And so here are some birds, and what I'd like each of you to do before you go outside is maybe each of you take one of these do some research on it, use your worksheet you have, become an expert, so when we go outside, you might say, oh, I know what that is. That's my bird. It's a Canadian goose. Or that might be a sparrow, or that might be a robin. So your job is to become an expert on these. Now let's talk about some mammals. Some mammals that you might see here at Stout Field. You might see a mouse. You might see a vole, which is like an outside mouse. You might see a dog.
I saw
Have you seen dogs around here?
Yeah. I saw cats before.
Cat around here. Maybe a raccoon.
Oh, I never saw
What lives in trees? A furry thing that lives in trees. Squirrel.
Possums.
We might find a possum.
And they play dead sometimes.
And they do play dead. So these are some of the mammals you might find here. Let's talk about, insects. There's going to be all kind of insects. Insects.
Mosquitoes, bees.
Mosquitoes, bees, flies.
Horseflies.
Horseflies. Maybe you'll find one. What about amphibians? Like,
Like an leg.
we might find some frogs. Has anybody found a frog around here? Or maybe a toad? Cricket would be an insect.
Spider.
Spiders. We could find spiders here. Spiders are different than insects. And, I wouldn't be surprised if you found some reptiles.
Locust.
Like maybe a snake.
Like a rattlesnake.
No rattlesnakes. But you might find a garter snake. And I know right across the street there used to be a lake, and there's a small snake. It's very rare. It's called a Kirtland's water snake. But you might find a turtle. There was a little girl yesterday who said she found a turtle in her yard. So these are some the plants and animals that are from Indiana. Let me show you a really good place to find more information on these. So, we left out a couple things, and I'm glad you guys reminded me that there are groundhogs around here, and those little things with big ears that go boing, boing, boing. Rabbits. So make sure one of you is an expert on rabbits. Where can you go? How about the Indiana Department of Natural Resources? These are both game and non-game wildlife, and you go down a little bit more. Here is links of the amphibians that are in Indiana. So you can download this, or here are birds, Indiana birds, and it has mammals. We can go even further. There's even fish, bats. I forgot there's bats. There's, you probably don't have bobcats here at Stout Field, but they're in Indiana. Let's take a look at the birds. There's owls we left off, Indiana birds right there. This might be something, look at all the different types of birds in Indiana. So you might want to study this list, and let's go down a little bit further and see it goes on and on and on. And some of these are found here, not all of them, but some of them are found here. So you have your list, you have your animals. What else do we need? Okay, once you've found the neat things around here, there is a slide here that I put up for you. This is called Stout Field Elementary BioBlitz. Let's be able to fill this with all kinds of pictures and things that you discovered.
All right, so we're going to add Google Classroom. We're going to use our Google Classroom. I'm going to share with you the DNR website so that you can get on and start doing some research on the non-living and living things that we have here in Indiana.
I am going to study a red cardinal bird on
your Google book, right?
right.
Okay, so go ahead and check on there. Okay, and that's the what's that say at the top? Birds of Indiana.
Indiana.
All right, good luck with your research.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Crosslin, for coming. I'm so excited to continue our research right now and then later go out into the outside and study all the living things that we see out there.